We all know that football is just a game. It's a sport. It's a sport that provides profit for lots of people. It provides jobs for many people. It's a worldwide phenomenon. But ultimately, it's just a game. But as a fan of any team, not just Tottenham, it's more than just that sport. It is a connection to an area, to a community, to a group of people. It's something that you share with your friends, with your family members. It's something that you hold on to, you hold it dear. And in circumstances like we find ourselves as Tottenham fans, that passion and that love for this bloody club spills over and riles people up. Football's about opinions. We've all got an opinion about football. We've all got an opinion about our club, about how it's run or how the team sets out, whatever it might be. But we've all got opinions. And that's what makes it interesting. That's what spurs a lot of people on to have discussions and debates and arguments even. And I don't think anybody's, for me personally, nobody's opinion is wrong because it's their opinion and they're entitled to it. And I'll never say to someone, you shouldn't have that opinion, that's wrong in terms of football. But yesterday's shambolic collapse was just emotionally draining yesterday. And even this morning, whilst I'm sitting here doing this video, I feel emotionally drained, which is ridiculous because I know it's just a football game. I debated last night, should I sit and do my video after the game of exactly how I'm feeling? And I thought better of it. I'm not a clickbait sensationalist. I don't want to rant and really, give it all of that. I'm not that sort of thing, even though I know that would probably get me more viewers because it'd go viral by other supporters who'd want to take the mickey out of me. But that's not the case. I'm not really like that. And I do like to try to be level-headed in my approach to reviewing the game. But it's tough. It's difficult. I'll be absolutely honest. If it wasn't for South Dorset Spurs and that group of people and the friends that I meet on the day, I don't think I could put myself through it. I really don't. It's one of those things where you have to keep thinking to yourselves, is this worth it? I got up at 7 o'clock yesterday morning, which is like getting up for work as normal. And I didn't get home until 10 o'clock last night. So you're out for the whole day. The majority of that is spent travelling on a bus. And then you turn up at the ground and you get that lacklustre, lazy performance. At one point, players were walking without urgency. And you're looking at it, you're thinking, do you actually want to win this game? You started off, you've got yourselves in front, and now all you're going to do is invite trouble. And if you're an opposition team, having watched Tottenham this season, you'll know Tottenham go ahead. That's actually a good thing. That's a good thing for the opposition, because now we know you're just going to sit there and invite trouble on, and your defenders are just not good enough to do that. The triangle of suicide will come unstuck, and we will be able to get something out of this game. That's what Bournemouth would have been thinking yesterday. Don't worry, lads. You know, a goal down is fine. We'll you know, 2 down. You know, that's fine. You know, we can get there. And they did, and they deserved it. You know, Bournemouth deserved to win. Ultimately, they showed the heart, they showed the passion, they showed the commitment, and at times they were passing the ball around, you know, really, really well. And as I live locally to Bournemouth, I don't want Bournemouth to be relegated. I don't. You know, it's a good club in the local area that I have a little bit of an affinity for. Don't mean to say I want to see them beat us, but you get my point. So going back to the travel, we're really lucky. We've got a really close-knit group. We have good banter on the bus. We have good music. Bob plays really good music all the way. A bit of something for everybody. Lots of singing and so on. We go to LTs where they'll play some great songs. You meet up with people that you know from other supporters clubs or people that are regulars in LTs. And it's like a community, a family. You get to know each other and you have a bit of banter, you have a laugh and all the rest of it. And that kind of makes the day. You know, go to the Gilpin to start off with, where we're part, and have a lovely dinner, a breakfast and that. You know, you meet up with your buddies and that's the only thing that keeps you sane in this crazy season, one of many that we've been having. But it's all emotional. It's all emotional. It's draining. It sucks the life out of you. And the players can sit there and they can go, oh, you know, we'll put out a video. We'll go again. We gave everything. Really? I mean, I hate those videos. I hate those soundbite crap that you get from senior players that say this is what we're going to do. You know, we'll work hard in training to make it better. So well and good you running around getting fit, working on tactics, but if you don't employ them tactics, which is what Stellini is implying, then what's the point of it? You might as well just put anyone out there to run around a bit. So really, really frustrating, really, really disappointing, really, really emotionally draining. And it's just for a football game. It's crazy, isn't it? So anyway, let's touch on some of these key things as well from yesterday. Davison Sanchez booing. Absolutely feel heartbroken for him as a person. No one wants that. No one wants to feel like they are letting everyone down and that people dislike them and are not appreciative of them and all the rest of it as a person. And I'm talking about as a person, not as a footballer. You'll see the difference. But the reality is he's paid really well for what he does. And he has to take some responsibility for his own performances. So from a footballing perspective, if your expectation is a top 4 challenging club, then Davison Sanchez clearly isn't at that level. Now, he's doing stuff that we've all dreamed of, playing for Tottenham or national teams or whoever else he's played for. But the reality is he must have something about him to be good enough to get a £40 million move to a Premier League club. But it's not working. It's not working for him, and it's clearly it's not working. It's not been working for a long time. He's not been good enough for a long time. And so all the while you keep chucking him in there when things are going bad, you're just going to stoke that. You're just going to stoke that problem. And the fans booing, I've not really seen too much of that over the years. It's a growing phenomenon. I've got to be honest. I mean, we had it with Emerson getting some stick and Ndombele. Ndombele absolutely deserves it 100% because we could clearly see he's got the talent, but he just hasn't got the application. And Emerson Royal did improve. He has improved, and that's not because we're booing him, but because of the character of the individual. clearly for Davison Sanchez, coming on for 3 minutes here, 4 minutes there, and then getting chucked in when things are going wrong, and becoming the whipping boy, it's not great. It's not great for him, and it's not a great look. I've got to be honest. When you're booing your own players, it's not a great look. And as I say, I feel for him as a person, as a human. So yeah, that's disappointing. I personally didn't boo, if I'm being honest. I didn't boo him, but I'm not gonna lie. I am gonna say that when I saw him coming on, I did do the old, Jesus, what else is gonna out? Really, is this what we need? When the game was crying out for a change of formation, a formation change that we've been crying out for well, ever since this started to go wrong. So to hook him off to cheers, I think the cheers were more about not so much him leaving, but the change in formation that we were hoping that was going to make a difference and give us the result that we really wanted. And for a little while, it probably did look that way. So yeah, difficult for him. Hugo coming out and defending him, I get it. He's the captain. He's gonna defend him. But this is the problem, that there is such a disconnect between the fans and the players and the club, of people not really seeing things from a fan's perspective. I did a live stream with Chris Callan the other day, and I did say that I've never felt as disconnected from my club as I do now, and that the club treat us with absolute disdain. They don't consider us. We're not considered at all in this club. They don't care about us at all. We are just consumers. Which brings me on to my next point, I guess, is that people that are saying that the protesters, there was no protesting and all the rest of it, you're wrong. There is protesting going on, and that's their right to protest. And the "We want Levy out" chants were very audible in the ground. They were getting louder and louder. There was an awful lot of it. Where I sit in the south stand, in the corner, by the corner flag, right going all the way back, there was a lot of fans chanting, "We want Levy out," and it was echoing all the way around the south stand. So anyone who sits there and says, "Oh, I didn't hear no chanting and they should be chanting louder," it's there, and it's growing. But without calling out anyone individually, I find it interesting that when I'm leaving the ground, when I'm coming out from my seat, I stayed behind, I was chatting to the guys I stand with, the concourse and the goal line bar, jam-packed, absolutely jam-packed. People watching the Grand National, beer in one hand, pie in the other. You can see the irony there, can't you? And then as you come out of the south stand and you've got that big patio area, again, jam-packed with people, pies and beers and all the rest of it. And I get it, you know, it's not the easiest place to get home from. We wait an hour and a half after the game before we even try to get out of Tottenham. So I get it, no one wants to rush off. But there are so many pubs, there are so many chicken places and stuff that you could get something to eat. There's pubs that you could go to. You could support the local community. And if you really wanted to send a message to Daniel Levy, leaving the stadium straight after the game, emptying that whole place out and having bar staff sat there with their fingers up their arse might be an interesting way of doing that. Because let's be honest, ENIC ain't going anywhere. You can protest as much as you like and you can wave your flags and you can sign petitions and all the rest of it. But I don't see ENIC going anywhere. If it got too hot for Daniel Levy, he just wouldn't come. He just wouldn't come. And he'd still count his money. It might make him feel uncomfortable. But would you like to feel uncomfortable when you're claiming £6 million a year? You know, I think I'd put up with it. I think I'd put up with it. I think I'd go and sit in my little box and watch it on the TV and eat my foie gras and my glass of champagne and just take it. Turn the volume down. So, I get it. You know, fans need to show their displeasure. Fans need to say why they're upset and that they are upset and so on, and try and force the club's hand to do something. But I don't think these owners are leaving anytime soon. I think there's too much profit, and I think they've got bigger plans for the whole of the Tottenham area. The Tottenham Football Club is just part of their overall plan. So I really don't see it, changing strategy in the longer term. Someone might come along and go, oh, that looks like a good opportunity to take it over. But again, I'm really not sure whether Daniel Levy will even sell up. He might sell the football team. Will they sell the stadium? A lot of money to be made in a stadium that you're only using sort of 30 times a season. So I just can't see it. Anyway, I'm digressing. I'm digressing and talking about something that's really gonna divide the views, I guess. But you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to your opinion. And as I say, I'm not knocking anyone who's protesting or signing petitions or whatever you want to do, booing. That's your choice. You pay your money. You take your chances, don't you? So, but yeah, emotionally draining. Difficult day. The booing was getting bigger for Davison Sanchez, who basically is the current whipping boy. Daniel Levy's getting a little bit of stick. I don't think he gives one iota about it. I don't think he really cares. But for me, I guess the overriding feeling is one of disappointment. That's we're going out with a whimper. I hold on to the hope that behind the scenes there is a plan, that Daniel Levy and Scott Munn and Paratici, whilst they're not supposed to be working at Tottenham, will probably still be talking. They must be making plans for what's going to happen next. It seems crazy where we are currently with, the ex-manager's team still in place. There's no managerial bump. There's no nothing for the fans to cheer about. But there must be a plan. There must be a longer term plan, surely. Because it almost feels like we're just a club in crisis at the moment. But on a positive, trying to end on a positive, and this is a long video, apologies. At least now you don't have to worry about trying to get to top four, because that's gone. That's gone. If we can't beat the teams that we were expected to beat, the teams that were struggling, teams that are flying high and that are on the up, we got no chance against any of them. So at least you don't have to worry about that now. You don't have to hold on to that faint hope. There's always that chance. There's always that chance that we could get there to the top four trophy. As I've said, I've gone back many weeks now where I've said, I don't care. I don't care about the top four. Don't care. I just want to see Tottenham playing decent football, winning games, having a plan. And if the plan is a long-term plan, I can get behind it. But I can't. This is just killing the fans. And I've always tried to be the glass is half full type of person rather than a negative. Although I do come across negative, I think, sometimes. But I try to keep the faith and think, there's always something to look forward to. But it just doesn't feel like there is at the moment. And the sooner this season is officially over, the better. But a big thank you to South Dorset Spurs for the journey home yesterday. It was eventful. If you get a chance and you're on Twitter, have a look at South Dorset Spurs Twitter feed, because there was some interesting videos doing the ground. There was some singing, and there was even some nudity that you probably won't want to see, that will burn your eyes. But it did make for a fun journey home, and did make up, not for the poor result, but for the poor feeling about the result. It numbed the pain for a little while. Anyway, apologies for the long video. If you got this far, well done you. If you got this far, then, you know, I'm grateful. So if you want to give it a thumbs up, that'd be great, because apparently that helps the algorithm. And if you want to subscribe, please do, because again, that helps the algorithm and lets more people join this merry band of happy moaning. I'll leave it there. Thanks again. Up the Spurs.